All right, so I'm on a new setup out here, so we'll see if it's working. I'm saying, don't tell them I said that. Let's see, no tripod here. Let's see if I'm putting it in a candle. Let's see if that works. Oh, let's go with this one. Let's see. Oh, it's staying. All right, can you guys hear me? Is it? Am I coming through okay? Audio's good. All right. If audio's good, then we're all good. All right. Sorry about that. It looks like I'll be hand holding it for this time. Hey, what's going on? Sean Lucas, the man himself. I need to study your poker playing skills. I got cleaned out by some people are in here. Cerulean Clouds, you're in here. Hey, what's up, Dragon Lady? Oops, lost visual. Yep. All right. Okay, so a little bit distracted. Just touched down from the airport a little while ago. Airports are working now, so I guess that's good. The plan for today for this show is it's a little bit unorthodox, so kind of bear with me. But we're going to be covering a small little recap of the East Coast meetup, right? And then we're going to be doing a Jam. I finally posted it in the right channel this time, so I hope you're proud of me. I didn't want to get yelled at again. But the meat of today's meeting will be Chad Bird related. I'll be going over kind of what led me to the area. So if you're tuning in for Beyond the Map's Edge, kind of not going to be much meat for you today. But hey, like 99% of my stuff is all Beyond the Map's Edge. So Chad Bird's getting a little bit of love here today. Frog and Hedge Fleece. All right, let's check this out again. The chat. Ouch. Yeah, a little bit of a drop there. Art. Nobody saw that. My neighbor Spectre. How you doing? Max on the Rocks. Hey, fire costume, Max on the Rocks for your kid. I saw that on Instagram. It's a great costume. Captain Kid. Top of the morning to you. I don't know if any Marines are watching this, but if you do or end up watching it later, happy 250th. It's a Marine Corps birthday today. I called my uncle and called some of my other buddies, wish them happy birthday. If you guys know any Marines in your life, they would really appreciate it. A little text, a little call, just let them know that you're thinking of them. 250th. Emma was the overall winner. Emma did dominate all of us. She played that whole innocent, I'm just in this for fun. She let everybody think that, she was kind of, her chips were going down, and then she just turned it on at the very end and absolute domination. Peace, Alec. Yep, I'm glad I made it. I'm in Texas, in Tejas right now. Mushi, now we can start. Oh, that's what I was waiting for. Mushi's here. This is gonna be some Chad Bird stuff right here. Some of this might be new. I don't think some of this might be some new stuff for anybody who's following the Chad Bird hunt, Trezor hunt. Let me scroll up to. Let me just catch up with the chat real quick, and then we'll start. Any Franks, hot dog. How are you feeling about your theories? Yeah. So I was talking with this morning with I believe Snowman. After so many boots on the ground of so many things you think you discover going out there, it's not that I'm resigned or not that my expectations are a little bit more tempered. Like when I think I've discovered something, I've been there so many times before, or when I think I find something actionable and it hasn't really worked out. So at least for those hunts, it's a little bit less. I think the more times you go out for a particular hunt, like for John's, I think I've been out the most for JCBs than any other hunt. I'm approaching double-digit boots on the grounds for that. And so it's weird because it's a higher bar to get me in my car driving, but then my expectations are lowered at the same time. So each time I go out, I feel like the stuff I have is better, but my expectations are lowered. It's a weird way, if that makes sense. Can I juju on that beat? I cannot. I do not know what juju on that beat is. I think it's a dance move. Don't tell my strategies, huh, Joseph? Emma's dark horse. That's how she always wins. Yeah. Okay. we're heading there soon. Yeah, you might beat me up there, Stack. I think I didn't know I had some more family in town, so while I'm in here, family first. That's the real treasure anyway. So I gotta catch up with some family. Probably we'll be heading out there. Maybe morning. We'll see how late we stay in town. Okay, all right. I think we're caught up on the chat. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. So, quick recap. Thanks so much for Emma, for Scott. Thank you so much for Jenny and the Vale brothers. Only one was represented. Jeff was there. Really appreciate. Man, the Vale turnout was huge for that for the Pennsylvania East Coast meetup. A lot of, and I really got. I got to speak with him. Got to speak with Eric also. We'll talk on Eric in 1 second. But got to speak with Jeff, and I really like what they're doing with Vale, man. I really sensed their passion, and I could tell that they were going to do great things from the first interview. And it's just great to see when when you judge something right, right? I think a lot of people get in this for different reasons. Their reasons seem really pure, and the product they put out is a really good product. They really care about it. They really stay in touch with the community. So if you're on the East Coast, anywhere near the kind of like Pennsylvania, New York, Jersey, Delaware area, and you don't know about Vale, I highly encourage you to look them up, get into it. I will put a link here toward the end. And Eric the Puzzler, yes, if you are in, I'm going to speak on one clue. There were so many Erics there. I got to keep all the Erics straight. I'll speak on, because I also, he gave me some great advice for my YouTube. I've been like only using half of the tools available for a YouTuber, and he just kind of opened my eyes to all the different things that really I could and should be doing. So I really appreciate Eric for that. One Clue Short is a great is a great channel, and Eric's a great dude. He really is. Catching up with the chat a little bit. Yeah, any Franks. We're gonna try to hopefully narrow it down to some actionable information that we can put out there. Veil of Maya. I don't know about Veil of Maya. I have to check. Is there a band? I have to check it out. What was my favorite part of the weekend? Emma, thank you so much for the super chat. That's the the $20 that I should have paid you for the poker, but you graciously threw it back. But I think it really was my favorite part. I'll get sappy here for a bit. Was seeing how appreciative and the enjoyment my wife had to the community. Wife's always been a part of this. She's really behind the scenes, but this was her first time like getting out there and meeting people, and being able to just share a little bit of the joy and excitement I have to meet all you wonderful people in person, and seeing that her and talking about it, and she was like, I really like talking to this person. This person was funny. This person was cool, and like, hearing that, like, it just really made me feel good that we're kind of in this together. And also the roller coaster. She had a great time on the roller coaster up there. That was really fun. Her definitely on the way back. Our trip on the way back was delayed because there was a bunch of outlets up there that she hit up. So I'm gonna need to find some treasure because she did her part there. Anyways, Epiphany, it was great to meet you there too. Yep, Jem. We'll have to go to the next one. She's definitely going to Vegas, and she's getting more hype for it. So. Let's see, catch anything. Anorak. Maybe meet up if you're interested Monday. Yeah, modern day. Send me a chat. And if you're in Discord, send me a DM, whatever. I'm JCB interview today. Yes. Oh yeah. What time? I should have checked that. I don't want to overstep him. Jam, if you're able to put that in the chat, what time is his interview? If it's a live one, I don't want to. Do I sleep? Not often. Not often. Okay, let's get into Chad Bird stuff. That was a recap. If there's any more questions about the weekend, Fortune Foundry, it took a year, man. It took a year to get her into it. All right, so I apologize for the organization on this. A lot of this is stream of thought. I just got the 6. Oh my God, Mysterious Ryan, Jenny, thank you so much for really putting that information. For putting that event. Everyone, if you are following JCB's hunt and you need to check out Mysterious Writing, she just got a second set of 6 questions. Huge info in there. Is that up yet, Jenny? Can they feel free, or Huli, or anyone who can put a link to Mysterious Writings can be in there. That's fine in the chat. Um, but all right, yeah, this is going to be. I'm excited. I'm probably going to turn my attention when I come back, win or lose from this Chad Bird week. I'll be heading back. I'm going to focus on JCB a bit because there's a bunch of information coming out. Mysterious writings, one clue short of a treasure hunt. Uh, Jenny from and Calazar from Mike and Christie. They've all got new JCB info coming out. Okay, no live. He's gonna drop it ASAP. It's time before. Okay. Okay, next 4 to 6 hours. Okay. I don't plan on talking for 4 to 6 hours. So we're safe there. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. But unbelievable. Jenny, I can't wait. Jenny, is yours live already? Is this your new 6 questions, Rob? I'm getting excited. Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. Okay. So here we go. In no particular order, because that's how I think. I'm going to go down what led me to where I'm looking at in Oklahoma. All right. And Frank's not at all. So very catching up. Okay. All right, here we go. So picnic tables. All right. The question was, is there a picnic table within 20 yards that mark a quiet in? And so Chad's kind of asking, 20 yards to 60 feet. There's definitely rest areas in the area. I don't know how close. I don't know. You could say 20 yards, and I haven't walked it off. So definitely in the area you're looking for. And Emma did some great observations there when she was driving through Texas. She's done a couple times about the rest stop and the rest area. So I think you want to keep those in mind when you're looking. Closer to Pat Mays than Paris, right? This is a big one for me. I was able to eliminate a lot of the map. Oh, here we go. This is breaking news right here in the chat. Quick peek for Froggy listeners. He says, I am fairly certain the searchers have been on the path that leads to the Pokemon box. Some of them have been fewer than 200 feet. That is huge. Everyone, if you are a JCB searcher looking for JCB box, you need to tune in on what Jenny just wrote in Mysterious Writings. So I'll say that one more time for anyone who's listening and not reading. This is from John, JCB. I'm fairly certain the searchers have been on the path that leads to the Pokemon box. Likely some of them been within 200 feet. That's huge. That is really wild. And I know a lot of you guys have been out there, boots on the ground for Pokemon for months. So somebody out there is, that's really wild. All right, continuing. So again, closer to Pat Mays than Paris. For me, that's how I eliminate most of the southern half of Texas, right? I don't think in good conscience you can say that anything like south of Paris is in play because of what he said. It's closer to Pat Mays and Paris. All right. He said repeatedly, never said it was a lake. Hunting. Should I be wearing an orange blaze for safety? All right. So for people who aren't aware, there is public hunting on the public land. He said he's not aware of it, which I think kind of leads to imply that. I mean, that's not a hard rule out for me, but if I'm in like a hunting area, he would definitely be aware of it. So that's why I kind of rate the hunting area as a lower thing. So here's just a huge one, and this is, I'm maybe a little biased because I asked the question, but the question I asked was, are there similarities between the large body of water that Geode is at and Pat Mays? And his exact words were, where's it at? He said, are there aspects of the shoreline that are similar to the shoreline of Pat Mays? I'd say almost identical. So I take that as solid confirmation that it's not at Pat Mays. How can you say, if I'm asking him, hey, this large body of water that the Geode's at, are there some similarities in the shoreline between that and Pat Mays? That's how I've been working the whole hunt as in the end of both poems, right? How the search you may be further, the closer you search, you might be farther away depending on what you weigh. And he said, yeah, there are some similarities, right? And what's the exact words? Almost identical. I don't think you can be at Pat Mays. So in my mind, I don't think there's any need to be at Pat Mays, right? And so there's some people who have been at Pat Mays a long time. They really believe it, and they're saying, well, technically, I mean, I guess that's how you have to weigh it out. But for me, that's one thing that leads me away from there. All right, the biggest revelation I would say in the past 2 weeks, which got me really excited to come out, is this whole alligator gar, right? So for those of you who don't know, This was all started by, I believe, the whole instigator of this was Carter Violin, right? Oh, thanks for clarifying. Let me see what I miss here. Yes, that is great. And again, that's a great thing. That that's why you want your YouTube creators to be treasure hunters, right? I think the product they put out is a lot better that way, right? Emma and Jam, they've gone boots on the ground. They're hunting for it, right? So they have. Sorry, there's going to be a little bit of a noise here. Some guys riding through on some kind of equipment. I'm not going to say anything important until he leaves. There he goes. Not that I think he's spying on me. It's just that I didn't want any background noise. All right, but that's the great thing about Emma and Jam, right? Is they're in this to find the gold just as well and give good information for you. Oh, maybe he is spying on gold. He just came around and did a donut and left. You never know. He knows I'm onto something. Could be Chad Bird in disguise. I don't know. Yeah, but anyways, so that's the great thing you want about having a content creator that's also a treasure hunt creator, a treasure hunt hunter, is that they want to make sure that the information they get out to you is not repeated questions. So I really appreciate that. All right, back to Alligator Gar. So again, shout out to Carter Violin. She's been doing great work. If you don't follow her on Reddit, she does really great synopsis. Really great summaries of Chad Bird's his like Friday Q&As, his answers. Look for that. He had on like a visor and glasses. I don't know. Maybe he had glasses over the eye patch. But Carter Violin was asking him about, I guess, the largest fish caught at the lake that Geode was at. And I guess Chad thought that she was asking the largest fish for the state. Because, here, let me see if I can read these words here. What is the largest fish possible to catch in the body of water near the Geode? Right? And so I think there was a little bit of a misunderstanding, right? And Chad says this is from his one of his lives. I realized I wasn't necessarily direct. He ended up saying, about the 254 pounds. And so if you look, I mean, you can very easily rule out New Mexico. So Arkansas is already ruled out. For me, this whole interaction, interaction rules out New Mexico as well. One, from what I found, there's not too many alligator gar in New Mexico at all. And then the most recent news about the alligator gar is that you can catch one within 10 miles of the geode, right? So there's a whole back and forth with Carter about the alligator gar and 254 pounds being the prize fish. And then he told the story about the alligator gar. So for me, that really narrows it down. All right, so now this is when this alligator gar stuff started coming out. That's when I started getting super pumped to come out here. I'm like, I gotta shoot my shot now. I feel more confident with this and the area that we're searching. I mean, as it is, all right. So start out with JCB, right? Hey, I put 5 boxes, each 6 figures. That's exciting. That's great. One of them's near me. I love the Appalachian Trail. Love the East Coast. All that. Then Justin comes out. Hey, I put probably more in a box, in one box at least. It's in the West. Okay, hey, there's a map, there's a poem. Justin's doing interviews. Hey, that got me pretty excited too, man. Free money now. There's twice as much out there. And then Chad's like, well, I put out something, and it's only in these 4 states, right? So I'm like, shoot, I've been looking for half a country, and then if I've been focused on the AT box, that's 14 states, 14 states, right? So now only the 4 states. Okay, but I will admit, my initial enthusiasm was dampened by the 15-year projection, 5 years for a key, 5 keys, website codes. I'm like, I don't know, man. This hunt's probably not gonna be for me. I'm not a coder. I used to think I'm a gamer, but after being in the community for this long, I realized I'm not a gamer. I just like playing Minecraft and playing old Call of Duty zombies, right? I'm not a sweat. But then I'm like, man, Chad's in this Discord almost every night. He's doing Q&As. He's not shying away from anything. Props to him for that. And then he's posting them on YouTube, right? So yeah, another 200 foot. For anyone who just joined, I think a few more people just joined. The breaking news, if you scroll up, should still be there, is Mysterious Writings. Jenny from Mysterious Writings got her 6 questions back from JCB. and she gave us a sneak peek, right? So really, thank you. If there was a way to like reverse super chat, I would do that. But sneak peek is that JCB said he's fairly certain searchers have been on the path that leads to the Pokemon box, and likely some of them have been fewer than 200 feet. Right, another 200-foot comment. You know what? You know what this is gonna do, man. I love Indy, but this is gonna when hunt creators use the same language, this is really gonna feed into like they're all working off the one blueprint theory, right? Anyways, yeah, okay, yeah. Thank you for keeping me focused. Brute force, man. This is so. Again, when I heard about the Pat Mays comment, that kind of perked my ears up, right? Like, huh? Like, bro, you just eliminated like half the search area, and then Arkansas was out. Which I mean, it's tough to be in that place. I don't know if I would have done anything different, right? When Sabu is concerned. Um, Now 3 states. And then there was the whole, I'll get to the Northwest thing in a bit, but the alligator gar, I'm like, and I've always been team brute force. I mean, anyone who's heard my theories, especially the like, I think I'm up to like 80 or 90 now for Justin's box. I mean, it's, I'm definitely team brute force with this kind of stuff. So, all right, let's go ahead and get through this, all right? All right, so I think for me, we've comfortably ruled out Pat Mays. If you missed that, that was the question I asked him, right? Because you can't have, if you're going to have a shoreline, he answered it. I think he's answered everything, honestly. Are there aspects of a shoreline for the body of water that Bryce Harper can't throw over, all right, that are similar to Pat Mays? And he said they're almost identical, right? So that's what that gets me looking at similar body shapes. That also tells me it's not a Pat Mays. All right, let's see. So how close to water, right? So this was asked and answered kind of twice. So if I'm standing at the rock's location, will I be close enough to the water to throw the rock into the water from that spot? And he said, there are some times that you will. And then the second time is, again, from the geo's location, can I throw a baseball-sized rock and hit water? Yeah, sometimes you'll be able to, right? So that tells me there's that large body of water that Bryce Harper can't throw over that's not Pat Mays, that's near the geode, right? So from all this, we're able to start to narrow it down pretty quickly. Pay and no pay ways to get there. He's talked about you can always get to the trove for free. And then he goes on. Now, if you pay to park somewhere, there are several areas around that might require, pay to park, like a day use area, right? If you're familiar with that. But where the trove is, you can literally park the car and go get it. Here's another big one that I've been using a lot, right? Team brute force here. In the last 2 years, 400,000 people have passed by, right? So he said it's been out there a little over 2 years, right around 400,000 people passed by. He kind of answered this twice. So the next question was, how many people do you estimate passed within 400 feet of the geolocation? Then he goes, I don't know the answer, but he says, I looked it up, right? Which tells me that there's a way to look it up, right? And that he did. So I looked it up. Over the last few years, there was, over 400,000 people. Now, this one, it's a little bit further of a stretch, not just rock solid, but ways to look something up. I mean, a lot of parks have records, visitor records. A lot of them will have kind of some infrared counters. A lot of that data is publicly available, right, with or without a freedom of information request. A lot of the ODOT, Oklahoma Department of Transportation, a lot of their numbers for average daily traffic on roads, and an annual number, a lot of that's available, right, for public use. So for me, that really also helps narrow down this already narrow area we're working into, all right? Here's another big one, manage water. The question was, from the exact spot where the geode is, can you see any islands in the water in front? Then he goes on and says, no, well, it might depend on water management, right? If you're going to look at some sort of Google map, that depends on water management, just for your information, because some cities like Dallas and Irving, right, those are the examples he uses, they buy water. And so, water management might have a part of it, something to do with it. So I think it's important to look at your large body of water that Bryce Harper can't throw over. Is a city buying that water? Is that water that's managed, that the levels move up and down? All right. And so again, this area that we're drawing, right? If I was better prepared, I'd have a picture to show you. I'll post it probably tomorrow. I don't want to post it just yet because I'll be going there. A few people know where it's at. But you take the Paris, right? The parallel that Paris is at. Put a couple miles on it if you want a personal buffer, and everything below that, just don't even worry about it. Crop it out. All right. Um, Rule out Arkansas. Rule out New Mexico from the GAR comment. Draw your 35th parallel in Oklahoma. It's about halfway. Rule that out. Now you have a narrow band, right? If you look at where the GAR at, and this is where it's been really helpful. There are some super knowledgeable Oklahomies in the chats. Partner up with one of them, ask them, or you can just search, your AI buddies online, ChatGPT, Ava, whatever, whoever you want to use. Find out where GAR were caught, because they're not all over the place. And if where you find the GAR, you're going to draw a 10-mile, go to 15 if you want to feel safe, area around that. Well, so now you've got a pretty narrow container. If you want an east border, here's where we'll get to the big one, right? All right, let's go ahead and dive into this one now. Yeah. Hey, man, I'm gonna try my best, Chad. I'm gonna try my best. So here's the big one, the whole northeast of Paris, right? So this one's been a lot of debate over this, and I'll give you guys my take on it. So the question: if I'm flying toward the geode and Paris is in my rear view, what's my heading? All right, and props to Chad, man. That guy don't back down, right? He's answering these things. All right, that's a good one. That's a good one. So he goes on to say, and so now he says, I believe she's saying she's in a plane. Paris is in my rear view. What's my heading? All right, he's thinking about it. Taking off from Paris, he mentions Cox Field. So he goes, what's my heading? I'd say northwest. Can't give you an exact heading, but generally northwest, right? So now I understand he's clarified about, about the way Cox Field is oriented. He's talked about the airspace. That everybody kind of has to take off in one direction. But I kind of believe that in that, no, he really does. Even more than minor ones. Any creator, Chad does not back down. He answers it all. So I've definitely run from a lot more questions than what Chad answers. But so as far as the answer, he's in the moment. He's saying he's in the air, Paris in the rear view, and he's flying to the geode, right? It's northwest, which again, that's like your third confirmation that it's not at Pat Mays, right? But you need to know the history of Paris. Right? He said before, the history of Paris will help you with the geolocation, but it's not at Pat Mays. So this is my kind of like final plea. I'm not going to harp it because I could be wrong at the end of the day. I could miss something, but I really believe that you don't need to be at Pat Mays to look for the rock. Get the history, right? Visit the cemeteries, visit the memorials, visit all that. Get a little bit more sense of Chad, right? But I don't think you need to be flipping rocks over near Pat Mays, all right? So again, so the northwest, what that tells me is that anything east of Paris is that we've already ruled out the south, right, from the hole closer to Pat Mays. Now we can rule out the east, because at no point would you have been oriented northwest to the geode if it's anywhere to the east of Paris, right? So that's kind of the box I have, right? Go a couple miles east of Paris for your safety. Draw a straight line up and down. Boom. That's your east lateral limit. Don't go any further east than that. Use the parallel that Paris is at. Go 5 miles south, right? Give yourself some comfort. Mark out everything below that. That's your south lateral limit. Right there at the Texas line, Texas and New Mexico, draw a parallel right there. Block out everything west of that, because you're not gonna. Or okay, go 10 miles if you want to get technical, right? Because you're not gonna find any GAR over there, right? And you need to be within 10 miles of that. And then you've got your north at your 35. So that's your box, right? That's your box that you're looking in. You throw in the airfields, right? 13 miles from the airfields. There's a lot of airfields, right? And man, I wish I could remember the website, but I found a great website that will tell you if it's private or publicly owned. I don't know, if you want to feel safe, maybe Chad's got some friends, right? He knows a lot of people in the area. Maybe use some of those private ones. I'm only using the public ones right now, but I guess your mileage can vary with that. But hey, draw your 13-mile circles. Hey, bump it to 50. I'm always in the air. I'm always down the air for caution. So bump those circles to 15. Right? There's going to be a lot of airfields. There's a lot of airfields up there, but there's going to be some areas that are ruled out. Right? So now you've got your narrow box, right? Which is, if Chad has said that his the amount he's put out there is more than any other creator, and you've got the smallest box. So you've got the most money and the smallest box. And I mean, I think that's a pretty good shot, man. I think for anyone in that area, I think you should be doing Chad Bird's Hunt, right? I mean, it costs nothing to get in, right? Trezor, Trezor.quest, right? It's free. You can go on it. The community's great. There's a chat. There's a Treasure Quest Discord now. Everybody's sharing stuff. I mean, I'm putting this stuff out there. Um, Other people have put out their information. I think. I mean, it's pretty good odds. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing is found. Next couple months tops. And again, I haven't said a lick about the website. I haven't said zip about Freddie or Jason or codes or images or anything. This is just pure Q&A, and you already have your narrow box. If you have all that stuff, you're even in a better position. I don't talk about it because I'm not the best at it. I don't have a really solid foundation of that. So I'm team brute force over here. But if you've got all that data, use the box that I just drew, and that'll help you narrow in on it. All right. Let me see. I'm running thin on my notes here. Let me catch up on the chat for a second. Uh, bu- 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 let's see. Watch your six, Frog. Oh, there's people back there. While I'm taking the time to catch up on the chat again, any in your friend group, in a coworker or family, go ahead and send them a text today. Happy birthday! It's Marine Corps birthday. Uh, it's brute force. What up? Conspiracies.